Have you ever gotten stuck in the friend zone? Today, you're gonna learn how to escape. What up, homies? My name's Dave, and I help you get the girls you want and become the man you're meant to be. And today, you're gonna learn how I escaped from the friend zone and how you can do the same. Now, make sure you stick around all the way to the end, because you're gonna learn the exact process to follow. Let's get into it.
I'm so tired of love songs like that, but turns out the way they do.
So here's how it all went down, man. In my city, there are two high schools. There's an East and a West. There was a small class trip that took people from each of these two schools and sent us across the country for a week. And that is when I met, let's call her Amanda. She immediately caught my eye on the trip there. She was just super sexy blonde girl. The type of girl that every high school junior or senior is just like, oh man, I want her. Now I was shy, but I was still a ballsy kid. And we were all the way across the country, so I felt like my shyness from regular high school didn't apply. So when we got to the hotel and I ran into her and had my chance to say hi, I started the conversation. We immediately clicked and things went really well. We had great conversation and we ended up hanging out for a lot of the trip. At the beginning, I'm like, yo, this is amazing. This girl is super into me. Then I remember one night towards the end of the trip, there was this big dance party with all the different national schools that were also on the trip, and we all went together. I'm hanging out with the girl, we're dancing, we're having a good time. I'm in cloud nine. Eventually, she breaks off, stops dancing with me, and goes to dance with a few other guys. As I'm sitting there watching her walk off and dance with other guys, I'm like, man, I'm kind of a jamoke right now. And I didn't even know what a jamoke was in that moment. But after that night, we still talked, we had fun on the rest of the trip. But one thing I noticed she started doing was telling stories to me about other guys, or telling me about other guys she was into. I'm like, man, I don't want to hear this. Why is she telling me this? I'm getting all jealous. This is the worst. And that's when I started to realize, man, I think I'm in the friend zone.
Hold on when you need a friend, I'll never let you go again.
Once the trip was over and we got back to Rhode Island, I still had a little bit of hope. I was like, oh, maybe if I keep talking to her, she's gonna come around and fall in love with me. Of course, the same old thing kept happening and I just dug myself even deeper into the friend zone. Eventually, I decided, you know what? I'm done with this shit. I'm not gonna keep hanging on to something that's clearly not gonna work out. So I let the communication fade and we basically stopped talking completely.
And I thought, it's time I'm letting you go. This time I know it for sure. I just thought I should let you know. Yeah, no, it's no more, no.
So in the midst of trying to move on and forget about this girl, I thought to myself, like, all right, Dave, you clearly fucked up something here. You didn't get the result you wanted. What can you do differently the next time? So I thought, okay, maybe it's time to start improving myself. So here's what I did. I started learning more about dating and self-development. I remember buying a CD by David D'Angelo, trying to figure out what am I gonna do? And I realized oh, there's some clear things I messed up pretty badly. I also started going to the gym because, let's face it, bro, I was a noodle. So even going to the gym a little bit had a huge impact. When you get a more muscular frame, it makes a big difference for your confidence, and that affects the way girls react to you. By the way, if you are trying to bulk up and get that muscular frame, which is great for attracting girls and being more confident in yourself, then I highly recommend checking out the Muscle Building Essential Stack from Transparent Labs. I've been using it since January, and bro, it's helped me to get into the best shape of my life and build more muscle than I ever have before. I wish I had it back then when I was trying to get out of the friend zone. It includes 100% grass-fed whey protein, creatine, and pre-workout, which are all gonna supercharge your ability to build muscle fast. It's worked great for me. These biceps don't lie, bro. But if you wanna check out the whole muscle building stack for yourself, or even just one or two of the supplements within the stack, you know I hooked up a discount for you. Just hit the link in the description, use coupon code CASANOVA, and you're gonna get 10% off your order.
But I won't let the stormy seas throw me in open water. Let me have my peace and leave me till tomorrow.
Yeah, man, so I was working out, getting big, and I was also starting to date other girls. So this girl was no longer on this big pedestal to me. Matter of fact, I barely ever thought about her anymore. And in the midst of all this, I was also posting the occasional pic on social media just to let people know, hey, Dave ain't the same motherfucker anymore. He's stepping his shit up. Then one day, out of the blue, I get a text from Amanda saying, hey, how have you been?
Give me a chance to make it right. Just let me touch you like the first time.
So we get to talking and texting, and eventually it's like, all right, let's hang out and catch up. It's probably been about 2 or 3 years at this point, and I'm a lot more muscular, a lot more confident. I've had a lot more experience with women, and I'm basically a man now. I'm a completely different dude. Now I can tell she noticed something different right away. That the conversation wasn't how it used to be. It wasn't like two friends catching up. It was really that man to woman type of vibe. And I could see she was getting more attractive. I wasn't the pansy ass bitch I used to be. I knew how to lead a girl. I knew how to structure a date. I knew how to make a move. So that's exactly what I did. We hung out, we had the good conversation. I brought her home and we hooked up. I went from being squarely in the friend zone to being squarely in the friends with benefits zone. And let me tell you, bro, that's a much better zone to be in.
All it needed was a little spark. Give me my heart back 'cause somebody stole it.
Now for you, there's 3 key steps you can take to replicate my results and break out of the friend zone. There's a 4th one too that I didn't do that makes it even stronger, and we're gonna get to that in a minute. The first one is to forget about the girl. Bro, I gotta be honest with you, you're gonna be okay with never getting out of the friend zone with her. You're gonna be okay with just forgetting about her, moving on, and dating other girls. If you can't allow yourself to forget about this girl and move on to another one, you're never gonna get out of the friend zone. Second, improve yourself. At the very least, you gotta take a step back and reflect on what happened, what you could have done better, and work on that. You can also do the classic things like work on improving your style, hit the gym, take those supplements, and just become a better man in general, not to impress any girl, but just because that's the natural trajectory you want to go on as a man. The third thing is you got to be patient, man. It's not an overnight process. You can't just drop down, do a couple push-ups and be like, hey, what's up? The thing you got to realize is she doesn't like who you are right now, so you need some time for both of you to transform a little bit so that can change. So it could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be longer than that, but ideally you're not sweating it, because if you follow step 1, then you're already forgetting about the girl and trying to move on. So the amount of time doesn't really matter, bro. But yeah, if you get all this down, you do meet up with her and you do hang out, then you're gonna have the best chance of hooking up with her and getting out of the friend zone. Now the 4th step, the one I didn't do, is to avoid the friend zone in the first place. Listen, man, it's a lot easier to avoid the friend zone than it is to get out of it. But don't worry, if you want to learn how to avoid the friend zone, then check out this playlist right here. You're gonna learn how to talk to girls and flirt like a boss so that they never put you in the friend zone again. Let's keep it going. I'll see you there, homie.